What's going on, guys? Black Scout Survival Late Night Live. We got any New Yorkers in the house? Let me know. Your mayor up there in New York City, Eric Adams, suggests that New Yorkers should start housing illegal immigrants. So basically, like in an illegal immigrant foreign exchange program, if you will. And never in my life did I think something like this happen. Let me play the clip for you real quick.
Up to this, go to the faith-based locales, and then move to private residence. There are residents who are suffering right now because of economic challenges. They have spare rooms, they have locales, and if we can find a way to get over the 30-day rule and other rules that government has in its place, we can take that.
So yeah, he's wanting you to open up your homes to illegal immigrants to come stay, right? And he says it's hard times. Well, thanks to a lot of Democrat-ran cities, that's the case. But never in my life I think liberals would be so bold, and but they never cease to amaze me. But this seems to be the quickest way you're going to convert tons of Democrats to Republicans. So I would say that. Few things to note. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Took some time getting us up tonight. We do got a lot of information tonight. I think you should stay tuned through the whole video because you're going to be pretty blown away by some things, and we're going to go down the rabbit hole of some other things. But I also want to mention last night's video. I had a guest on there, Dave Womack, and we discussed in depth on night vision versus thermal and the way the world's going. I think if you're interested in getting prepared, that would be a great video to watch because we talk about the ins and outs and what may best suit you. So anyway, obviously things are heating up with China as they have been. A lot of people are wanting World War III to happen. Me personally, I don't, but I think we're on the cusp of it. There's a lot of reasons why, but the Navy, actually, the U.S. Navy just released a video of a Chinese ship performing a maritime maneuver in a unsafe manner, basically across the bow of U.S. destroyer. I got a video for you. I'll show it to you on the Taiwan Strait over the weekend. Here we go.
Beyond the lawful, 12 nautical miles. This area, international law guarantees all vessels a high seas navigation over flight, other lawful courses to proceed. Any attempt to limit freedom of navigation in over flight of this water is lawful.
So very close. They're making the wake now. The ship has to go through, and those wakes are pretty serious. Yeah, they're obviously getting more bold and more confrontational. We showed last week how the Chinese jet intercepted a U.S. spy plane and basically left this jet blast for it to fly through. But John Kirby actually talked about this as well. I'll play the clip for you real quick.
In the span of a week, we've now had two close encounters, one at sea, one in the air with the Chinese military. Are these isolated incidents, or is China becoming more aggressive?
Sadly, Ed, these are part and parcel of an increasing level of aggressiveness by the PLA, the PRC's military, particularly in the area of the Taiwan Straits and in the South China Sea. The air intercept was over the South China Sea, and the maritime intercept that you talk about was in the Straits. And sadly, this is just part, again, of a growing aggressiveness by the PRC that we're dealing with, and we're prepared to address it. You heard Secretary Austin speak to that out at the Shangri-La Dialogue just this past weekend, and we're going to continue to keep the lines open with the Chinese to make it clear how unacceptable those particular intercepts are.
So yeah, I mean, they're obviously taking it very serious, but you have to remember that China Joe and his family literally took $31 million in deals with Chinese operators with direct ties to the most highest level of Chinese intelligence. Okay. And we're going to discuss that a little further later. I think it's very important with some current other things that's going on that you may or may not have heard about. So I'm sure a lot of you guys probably heard about this, or maybe not. Iran has revealed that they've got their first hypersonic missile dubbed the Fatah, which they claim can thwart modern day missile defense systems. Fatah actually translates to the opener. Okay, so according to the Iran, the hypersonic missile has a speed of up to Mach 15, which is about 11,500 miles per hour, and has a range of 870 miles. They've also claimed that the missile is equipped with movable secondary nozzle and uses solid propellants, allowing for superior maneuverability. Right. So obviously, I mean, just all around, wars and rumors of wars is happening. Then we have Russia, and you remember the documents that were leaked by the National Guardsman and his friends. That Washington Post actually got a hold of these documents, and the documents revealed that European intelligence agency had shared information with the CIA in June of 2022 that the Ukraine was planning on bombing the Nord Stream pipeline. And so the documents have very specific evidence regarding the linkage between Ukraine and the bombings in the Baltic Sea, right? So this would mean that essentially that the US government and intelligence officials were aware of the connection over the entire year, but they kept on pushing that Russian BS narrative, right? So shortly after the bombing, if you recall, President Biden said that the following. He said, "Let me say this. It was deliberate act of sabotage. And now the Russians are pumping out disinformation and lies." This was in reference to Moscow accusing NATO and in the US of basically the role in bombings. Several of the documents from the National Guardsmen also shown discrepancies between statements of the officials and what the intelligence agencies had documented and were actually doing. So we had the White House and the CIA that were questioned about it, and they declined to comment on the leaked documents. They also declined on did they take measures to prevent the bombings. So obviously now Putin knows the documents are out there that we possibly could have had some dealings with that. So Putin released a statement. Okay, and I'm gonna play it for you. And it's got subtitles because he's saying it in Russian, obviously. Listen to what he has to say here.
А по отдельным компонентам и более современными, чем у стран НАТО. И при угрозе территориальной целостности нашей страны для защиты России и нашего народа мы, безусловно, используем все имеющиеся в нашем распоряжении средства. Это не блеф.
So basically, what he's saying is that they have nukes superior than NATO's, which that's a known fact, and they're not scared to use them. And he's not bluffing. And I'm sure most of you heard about the Kaha Voka Dam breach. I'm sorry, I can't even. Here, let me show you a real quick photo. That's the after effects of the pipeline there. So this dam that was blown up in Ukraine. I'm sorry, I don't speak Ukrainian, but so obviously both sides are blaming each other. But there's been a speculation, not within our government, but just amongst people, and I think it's a very good possibility that they're speculating that's a false flag to get more involvement from the U.S. and from NATO allies. Okay, so this is like apparently just flooding Ukraine, and so pretty much you don't see the red and yellow pictures on Facebook anymore. You don't see the lapel pins, so they're trying to maybe drive up more support. It's a possibility, or it could be Russia because they found out that the pipeline was attacked by Ukraine or America. And make no mistake about it, guys, this is not necessarily a war with Ukraine. It's a war with NATO, US against Russia. And that's what it is. And we're just using Ukraine as the piggyback, So let's talk about something, and this is going to seem very out there. I know it is, but there's been a lot of talk about UFOs. Okay, lots of it, right? All of a sudden, right? The past 2 years they've kind of been prepping you for it. But Christopher Mellon, a previous Deputy Secretary of Defense for Intelligence, has called on the government to release and disclose all reverse engineering projects related to UFOs. He also noted that he referred to 4 witnesses to the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO, all whom had direct knowledge, who worked on and knew everything about the black quote unquote government operation or program. And this program is supposed to deal with analysis and exploitation of materials recovered from off-world craft. He indicated that other sources have approached him regarding an alleged secret U.S. government reverse engineering program. He laid out several arguments in favor of publicizing any information related to these projects because he said that the American people have a right to know the truth regarding government activities relating to reverse engineering of UFOs. Okay. So I also have this other whistleblower. He actually's been doing interviews with News Nation. I'm going to show some clips of it real quick. And he said a lot of things. Okay, I'm not sure if you've seen that, but I would highly suggest you go watch this multi episode interview that he did with them. And he's a high-ranking Air Force commander who worked, in these projects, knew people that worked in these projects. The other thing that was crazy about this is that he got DoD approval to come talk about this with News Nation.
Ross Coulthart, who is reporting for News Nation on the bombshell whistleblower complaint filed with Congress and the Intelligence Community Inspector General. According to the complaint, in July 2021, Mr. Grush confidentially provided UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena related classified information, to the Department of Defense Inspector General. At that time, Mr. Grush communicated classified information about the improper withholding and/or concealment of classified material from the U.S. Congress by certain IC elements. News Nation has confirmed Grush's credentials, but he says he can't show us the proof of the alien craft for national security reasons. In a somewhat
So there's some things that he can't show specifically. He can answer questions per the DoD approval to give this interview, but there's certain things he can't show, right?
In attempts to bring down craft, that we've acted offensively.
So he asked him, and I think I might have skipped just a here, but what he's asking is that have we offensively attacked these UFOs
Against non-human craft?
There have been instances, and there are certain techniques.
Have human beings been hurt or killed by a non-human intelligence?
While I can't get into the specifics because that would reveal certain U.S. classified operations, I was briefed by a few individuals on the program that there were malevolent events like that.
Grush says he has to be careful about providing detail. He shared this letter with us from the Department of Defense, giving him permission to do the interview with News.
So he goes on to talk about, I would encourage you to watch the whole video. This is with News Nation, but he says that later on in the interview that other countries, our rivals, also have these craft. Okay, they've had interactions with these aliens, whatever they are. He says that they're violent. They are not friendly with us. Okay, so remember that Russia, 2 months ago, I did a video on this. Russia shot down what they called a UFO. They didn't call it a drone. They called it a UFO. And then I showed you in the video when I went to Google search it, you know how it does that statement whenever it's anything they're trying to cover up, that too many search related questions, they can't find out the information, or you can't find out the information at that time. And so the news was silent about it everywhere else in the US, but other places in the world were covering it. So he says that we've had these craft and various types of craft, and we have multiple of them, not just one, for a very long period of time. And he says, like I said, that we've dealt with pilots of these craft. Okay. And he said, again, they're not friendly. And he basically insinuates that they've killed Americans. Okay. And that we've killed some of them. Now, if we play tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists real quick, Roswell happens, right? Sometime after that, Area 51 was built. And so now, if you recall a few weeks ago, and this is just tinfoil theory here, this is not This is a theory. Tucker Carlson had right a few weeks before his show was canceled. He had a CIA whistleblower come to him and say that JFK was killed by the CIA. The whistleblower also said that everything you knew about America was a lie. What would be so big? Because this is about the same time frame all these things were popping off to kill a sitting president, right? And they want to say, like Bay of Pigs or whatever. Come on. We know everything about Bay of Pigs. Lee Harvey Oswald, he was a Marine, but he wasn't a Marine sniper. We've had Marine snipers with modern day optics using the same rifle that could not even make the shot that Lee Harvey Oswald did. So maybe he was going to out the information about aliens, right? We have, again, Lee Harvey Oswald killed by Jack Ruby not too long after Jack Ruby dies of lung cancer, a pulmonary embolism from lung cancer. The Kennedy files have been sealed all this time. Trump said he was going to unseal the files. While he was in office, he reseals the files, right? Biden resealed the files again, right? So whatever's in there is so damaging that you can't release it, that Americans can't know about it, right? And this is a theory. This is just me going off. I'll tell you when something's a theory, whenever there's no basis of my claims. I'm just spitballing something out there, right? I'll show you receipts if there's something of evidence out there. But the whistleblower that went on Tucker Carlson again said that everything you know about America was a lie. What could that mean? Okay. Also, we heard that other countries have this craft. Maybe they're trying to reverse the technology before we do, because obviously it could be very powerful, because the Navy pilots that intercepted some of these things said they've seen no means of propulsion. Okay. Do you think they want Robert Kennedy Jr. to get in office? He's running against Biden, right? You think they want him to? Because he'll definitely unseal the files. But the biggest question is why is it coming out now? If it's been going on since the 60s, when the first crash that happened in Roswell, that they said that was a hot air balloon, and that Air Force commander lost his job because he wrote a statement on it. Basically, he got forced into retirement, called a lunatic. But why are they coming out now? Think about it. Just use simple logic. Could it be a diversion for the Biden crime syndicate? $31 million from a sitting president from Chinese Communist Party. He's bought and paid for, controlled. We have a whistleblower that from the FBI that said that he is in cahoots with Hunter Biden. Like Hunter and Joe have people within the FBI and DOJ. This guy, the guy given maybe the whistleblower isn't a whistleblower for the alien craft. Maybe he was pushed to go do this. I mean, he got DOD permission. If it was so secret, right, would he get DOD permission to go do it? Yeah, they'd have him in jail. So is it a diversion to protect the Biden crime syndicate? Let's look over here at this hand. Don't pay attention to what this one's doing, right? Smoke and mirrors. The FBI is protecting Biden right now, right? Because they're trying to get his records. The FBI is not wanting to turn them over. The House is talking about making the FBI director contempt for not doing it. Merrick Garland isn't going to try to push it, right? Merrick Garland is currently trying to indict Donald Trump. And he may allow Hunter to get a little slap on the wrist for the gun purchase while he was smoking crack. But 3 witnesses, informants, have turned up missing or dead involved in the Biden crime ring. They have one that's still alive. They're trying to protect the identity of, because they're scared that he's going to get killed too. Right? So one's left in protective custody. So to me, like, if you wonder why all of a sudden alien stuff is being brought up, it would be a great diversion, wouldn't it? It would. And maybe the world leaders know about it, so they don't think it's a big deal. Maybe, who knows? Maybe they're easy to take down. You do know that if you can go Google search this, that Gorbachev and Ronald Reagan had a pact that said that if they, ever got into conflict with aliens, that they would join forces and fight them. Well, I mean, it could be all a big play, right? I wouldn't put too much, I guess, too much digging into the alien stuff. I don't really care about them. I don't think they pose a significant. I mean, they could. I mean, it could be War of the Worlds, but I don't really. Independence Day, but I don't really think they play a significant role because it'd be hard for them to keep it hush hush by now. But I always say this: like, if you think about things for logic, if you think about people's motivation for doing something, what are people motivated by? Protecting themselves. Most people are selfish. They'll protect themselves. Money, power, those sort of things, right? The other thing I always say is that logically, if you hear a lot of the same thing from different people, it's probably true. Okay. You have these little blips over time. We heard 8 years ago, or 10 years, or 12 years ago, I can't recall exactly, but I talked about this in depth before. But the Canadian, I think, Minister of Defense sat up in front of his Congress and told them that aliens were real and the U.S. knew about them. They were called tall whites. Edward Snowden talked about tall whites. Israeli, and I did a video about this because I remember I was in Florida in Airbnb doing it. Was in 2020, right before the election, and for Trump trying to get reelected. And I did a video because the Israeli Minister of Defense said that Trump knew about aliens. So the thing is that all this smoke, there's got to be some kind of substance to it. But obviously, if it's not affecting us on a day-to-day scale, I don't really think it's a big deal that I really care about it. And it could be Project Bluebeam, like somebody's saying here, the fake alien invasion. Go Google that for yourself. And that way they have some parameter of control. We could go in a ton of different theories. If you want to talk about bringing a one world government together, fake alien attack. Right. I actually heard someone talking about this, about Project Bluebeam, about a hypothetical scenario where they would utilize alien invasion, where we have to, build up our defense systems. Everybody's got to trust us. We're going to protect you, because it's always about your safety and security. Right. So CGI is very effective. Could be using CGI on this whole thing with these people that are working on something. Right? Who knows? I don't really freaking care. One thing I do know is that the Biden crime family is extremely corrupt. We have an invasion on the southern border. And I'm talking about things that can affect us as every day to day. New York is asking for people to start taking in illegal immigrants, right? And all that is injecting of voters. Like, make no mistake, that's what it is. We have China and Russia breathing down our necks, dying to get into conflict with us. And me personally, there's no better time to do it while there's a week in America. We have the president who can't walk up a flight of steps, can't walk on a flat stage, right? If it even is the president, because he had one day his ears are flappy, the other days are not. Some days he's wide-eyed like this, other days he's not. Some days he can talk, other days he can't. Who knows, right? But like the CIA guy that told Tucker Carlson, the whistleblower for Tucker Carlson, said that everything is a lie. I'd almost be skeptical of everything you see within the media and within the government, and ask yourself, why are you being fed this? That would be the biggest question I would ask about all of this stuff. But along with that, be prepared in every way possible. Think about your priorities: food, water, security, those sort of basics. And I would not tell you, because a lot of people, they live in paranoia. Don't live in paranoia. Don't live in fear. Just be prepared, right? Are you scared every day you're getting a vehicle? There's a high probability you can get in a vehicle accident and die. Are you terrified to drive your vehicle? No. Just be prepared, right? Live your life, control what you can, and don't freak out. It could get bad, but be prepared for it. And I make these videos and I tell you because I want you to know what's going on in the world in a concise manner, but to be aware. Knowledge is key, and know that what's the possibilities and potential and how bad things can truly get, right? And if it got kinetic with a World War III, you best believe that people that aren't prepared will come to try to take what you have. So you better be able to secure that. Okay. And like I said, no one is coming to save you. I saw some guy right tonight said, oh man, after this election, you know, we're going to get Trump back in there and everything's going to be okay. Everything's not going to be okay. They're never going to let it be okay again because they've gotten control, right? Anyhow, no one is coming to save you. This coin is coming out this week. Do not miss out on it. You see it's a play on the Blackbeard flag, but instead of it being here, we put the red with the drops on the front, right? It's a gold coin. And I'm going to show you the potential things you can win. Everybody's going to get something. Everybody's going to get a free gift this time, right? Usually we only pay like 5 people. Everyone that purchases one of these, and all of them are numbered too, so you get your own numbered coin there. But everybody will get something. It could be a prototype. It could be some kind of swag, something you maybe hadn't seen before. Maybe it's something we reviewed in the video. Everybody's getting something, but there's going to be some key prizes here. One is this tomahawk here. This is a 1 of 1, I think. Maybe a few more. And there's not going to be a drawing. Okay, that's the other thing, is because people have a hard time coming back to look at the video to see that they won something. And I'm not going to hunt you down, right? So this will be one of them, this tomahawk here, this Black Scout tomahawk. Somebody will get this. And so when you place your order, you'll get a gift. And you can get as many coins as you want, and every coin purchase will get a free item also, right? It could, like I say, it could be a swag item. It could be another coin, a secret coin we have. Could be this knife here, fresh off Magna Cut knife. Could be one of those. Could be a tomahawk. It could be a Garmin InReach, as well as some other high ticket items. Later on in the week, we're going to show a video. We're going to do it in another video and show the various items you could win. So anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts on this, but watch the other video. They're not going on sale, I think, until maybe Thursday, and you'll see the other items that's being given away as well. And you're not going to see all of them because you just are going to get them. But I want to know your thoughts. Obviously, Putin says he's not bluffing. China's getting more aggressive towards our military. And go watch the News Nation UFO stuff and give me your take. Come back and give me your take on it in the comments. I want to know what your take is. What's your thoughts? Is it deception like I think? Is it trying to smoke and mirrors the Biden crime syndicate? Let me know your theory. I'd love to know. Anyhow, guys, thanks for watching. Remember to stay frosty, stay strapped, and always stay dangerous. Take care.